These days, manga is a cultural behemoth. Thanks to the internet and social media, these Japanese comic books are celebrated by audiences around the world. But that wasn't always the case. Back when imports were still hard to come by, a lot of what made it out of Japan was the weirder, more experimental stuff. And I blame Hideshi Hino for most of this. While not a household name per se, Hino is behind some of the most unforgettable horror manga ever made, with images that stay burned into your retinas long after you finished reading. As a child, Hino was often sick and spent a lot of time at home obsessing over horror movies and early manga. This enthusiasm led him to publish his first manga, Sumetse Ace, in Com magazine. It's pretty different from the work Hino would become known for, but squint and you can still make out some of the more morbid ideas that were to come. When the 70s rolled around, Hino began to fully lean into his horror side. There are so many stories to choose from, but I've whittled this list down to my favorites. Some of these are one-offs, and others are full tales, but they're all full of ugly little weirdos that will stick in your head long after you've finished reading. And just a note, a lot of the stories here have been published multiple times in various compilations with a variety of translations. I've done my best to research this video thoroughly, but if a date or translation is a bit off the mark, I'm sorry, I guess. Island of Colors, 1976. One of Hino's earliest works, Island of Colors is more mysterious than violent, although it is violent too. A man finds himself on a strange island full of odd creatures and bizarre locals. There's a constant sense of simmering danger, like something bad could happen at any time. And then there's this guy. He sucks. He lives in the village steps and doesn't make direct eye contact, and I think he eats dead bodies. He's the worst. I hate this guy. Legend of the Sun, 1976. This one's a little different for Hino. It's still got horror elements, but it's more of an adventure story. A feral child raised in nature slowly reconnects to the world of humans. He joins a tribe that lives in fear of the ape men, a group of ape men that are slowly killing off his people. I'll be honest, didn't finish this one. I was reading a super bootleg version of this on my phone and my eyes started to hurt. I did like what I read though. Zoroku's Strange Disease, 1976. A man awakes to find a red lump appearing on his skin. Fearing contamination, his village casts him out to live on his own. From there, things escalate. His body swells, twists, and breaks down into something unrecognizable. There's a slow, pitiful tone that makes it more upsetting than shocking. Like at one point, even a hungry fox sees him and thinks, no, I'm good. There's no real villain either, it's just a man betrayed by his own body. It's pretty nasty stuff, but I actually own a signed vinyl figure of Zoroku from Planet Toys because I'm a sicko, I guess. Alright, next up we move into the 80s. In my opinion, this is where Hino goes fully off the rails. Horror of Monster, aka My Lovely Monster, is Hideshi's tribute to classic monsters like Frankenstein and King Kong. But even if you know the story, Hideshi's art and small twists make it special. Like when the monster eats some toxic waste and grows into a giant kaiju. Much like the monsters he's inspired from, this wide-eyed cutie is just misunderstood. Although he does kill way more people than Frankenstein's monster did. Similar to Zoroku, he's become an iconic Hideshi Hino character over the years and turned into a variety of vinyl toys. And I want them all. Next is Panorama of Hell, one of Hino's best-known works and probably his most ambitious. A deranged painter walks us through scenes from hell while explaining his family's long history of suffering. All manners of death are presented like a gallery tour. The drawings from this were pretty popular on internet forums in the 90s, which I know because I saw them and they scared the shit out of me. Red Snake, 1985. This is one of the most unpleasant things Hino ever made. A boy lives in a collapsing house with his weird family obsessed with eggs and chickens. There is a snake involved at some point, but the story is mostly concerned with ratcheting up the darkness of each family member. Every time you think, okay, at least so-and-so is normal, they'll either start drinking blood or slice off an appendage. Living Corpse, 1989. Living Corpse is your classic revenge tale. A man is murdered and comes back from the grave to take it out on all the people who betrayed him. That's kind of it. There aren't any huge swings. It's another Hino story that doesn't have much to it, but is carried by awesome art. A solid, no-frills horror comic. Onimbo and the Bugs from Hell, 1987. This one's a bit of a curveball. It has reoccurring characters and a monster of the week structure, and more intended humor than usual. Onimbo is a shitty little demon boy who pulls parasitic bugs out of people's bodies. Each story is about some poor kid that, intentionally or not, wrongs Onimbo. Because Onimbo is a little asshole, these kids are often punished with a fucked up demise. I hate Onimbo. Look at that stupid fucking grin. You're the worst fucking character. Thankfully, Onimbo eventually gets devoured by his own stupid bugs. Snow Woman, 1987. Okay, here we go. If you were starting to think Hino could only do corpses and body horror, Snow Woman, well, there's still some of that. But it's mostly a quieter tale with some gorgeous imagery. During a terrible snowstorm, a man is saved from death by a mysterious woman. She then disappears, but comes back to him years later. It's a good example of Hino focusing more on mood. Demon of Rashomon, 1987. Set in old Japan, Demon of Rashomon is based on the real legend of the demon who lives in the Rashomon Gate. A warrior is sent to defeat the creature, but things don't go as planned. Because of course they don't. By now you know Hino would not let that happen. He keeps the visuals rough with plenty of texture and some twitchy line work. It's one of his more traditional stories, but he still makes it his own thing. 1989, Hell Baby. This is definitely Hino's most famous story. If you've been looking at the art in this video and wondering why it seems so familiar, it's probably because you've seen the artwork from this story on some dark internet forums. Everything about this one is campy and sad. A child born with a deformity is left to die in a dump, which, well, she does. But then, a stray ball of lightning resurrects her. From there, she returns to the city in order to murder the out of everyone. Despite being an unglued creature, she comes across as pathetic and misunderstood. Does she rip out a few jugulars? Well, yeah. But, maybe she wouldn't have had to do that if people had just treated her better. If you're going to read only one Hino manga, this is the one people usually start with. 2005, Skin and Bone. Alright, so I wanted to end with one of Hino's most recent. It's relatively simple, but the art really carries it. After being bullied at school, an overweight girl goes on a diet, but takes it too far and dies. So, of course she comes back as a skeleton, craving flesh. And she takes it from the very kids who bullied her. It's not his most thought-provoking, but the drawings of the girl ripping out chunks of flesh are very visceral. Look, Hideshi Hino isn't for everyone. His books are dark and gross, and they don't always make that much sense. But if you're the kind of person who likes silly horror stories with cool art, then Hideshi Hino may just be for you.